the first time that the temple was destroyed, in my opinion, is in 1030 by Salar Masud Ghaznavi, who is the nephew of Mahmud Ghaznavi. And he occupied the area of Ayodhya back then for only a short time, because in 1033 he was defeated by Hindus in the Battle of Bahraich. And so he was a temple destroyer like his uncle, so it's quite sure that he destroyed this Rama temple. We know at any rate that the Rama temple disappears because it makes way for the rebuilding and in fact a grandiose building of a new temple. This is the Rajput temple. All the dynasties in North India at the time were Rajputs. So a new temple gets built much bigger. It is that temple of which we have found the pillar bases and other remains. But what happened to it? Many Hindus say or assume that this is the temple that was destroyed by Babar in 1526. But that is hardly possible. You see, as Syed Shahabuddin, the leader of the Babri Masjid Movement Coordination Committee, said, and he was totally right, if the Muslims were such iconoclasts, how could such a major temple and center of Hindu pilgrimage have remained standing for 3-4 centuries under Muslim rule? And indeed, Ayodhya was a capital of the Sultanate, or a provincial capital, so there was a garrison there. You see, there were Muslims in strength, just passively looking at this Hindu temple for 300 years. You see, that is very unbelievable. Of course, they destroyed that temple. Moreover, during the scholars' debate, 1990-91, archaeologists, both from the temple party and from the anti-temple party, said that the architecture is typical of the Sultanate period. That is to say, it must have been built 1300 or so, before Babar. And so the inscription on the gate before the mosque said that it was built on Babar's command. So I'm pretty sure that in 1194 or 1193, when the city was conquered by the troops of Muhammad Ghori, here again by a nephew, Shah Zuran Ghori, all the temples were destroyed. Like, for instance, there was a mosque built in the name of Shah Zuran Ghori on the site of the temple for the first Tirthankara of the Jains, Adinath. Now there is a temple again, I visited it. But so he destroyed all the temples that he could find. Why would he leave this premium temple untouched? So more likely they replaced it with a mosque building, and that is the Babri Masjid. When Babar conquered India, for a while there was chaos. Now, given that Hindus always kept trying to come back to their site as closely as possible, in this case they may have seized the opportunity to at least restart Hindu worship at the site. You see, it was too chaotic and so on to actually do the building work of a new temple, but at least functionally it could be a new temple just by starting worship there. And then Babar came there and he stopped that. So the destruction that Babar wrought may not have been much more than stopping this temple practice rather than destroying a temple building. But we don't know because we have no description of what exactly happened. And we know that the earlier temple was destroyed, but even archaeologists can't say when exactly this was. So I think this is already a third case of destruction, though the word demolition does not apply. There are two demolitions so far, and then there is the stopping of this Hindu practice at the site. It's not, I mentioned here, archaeologists are not of the pro-temple side. There's also Sushil Srivastava, not an archaeologist, but okay, he's entitled to his opinion, and in this case I think he was right. There was already no temple building anymore by the time Babar came. But so this is very much in dispute and it's hard to decide. And now even less because there's nothing to dig up there anymore. Yes, okay, so Shahjahan Ghori wrought a lot of destruction. So it is very unlikely that he left the Rama Janmabhoomi temple standing. So what is the result of this? By the time of Babar, we know that a major Hindu temple had been standing there, that it is demolished twice, and the second time replaced by a mosque, that Hindu pilgrims kept coming to it, especially on Ram Navami, and that all the relevant Muslim sources, as well as Hindu ones, as well as European travelers, confirm the story that there was a temple there destroyed by Islamic iconoclasm.